Hey guys, welcome back. This class today is another one of our morning movement classes, hence why my hair's all over the place. It is morning. What we're going to be doing today is a little hip flow that India and I do all the time. One, if I just want to warm up my body pretty quickly, or it's just kind of a maintenance thing. Maybe you don't have time to get into full practice. This is a great little set of movements to keep your practice where you want it without having to do a full yoga practice. So before we go anywhere, we're going to start to open through the back of the ankles, and I'll explain why. So come down onto one knee, and then take your left sole of your foot to the earth. All we're trying to do here is bring our weight down and forward, and the knee still tracking in line with the toes, but moving in front. Now, the reason that we're doing this, opening up through the ankles, is we're going to be moving through a few Malasana and Skandasana. Yeah? And what holds a lot of people out of that posture isn't actually hip or even spinal extension, it's actually ankle flexion, which is what we're working on now. Just a few more breaths here. Now you can do this on a mat, you don't need to. We'll swap over sides. So come down onto your left knee, and then the right knee in line with the right toes. You can just start to pulse weight forward and back. And if you've never tried this before, try coming into a Skandasana. Do this to open up through your ankles, then try it again and see how much deeper you can move into. Not here for too much longer. So the first pose we're going to come into is Malasana. And I'm sure a lot of you, if you've done our classes, you're familiar with this pose. Again, you can be sitting up here or down lower. Just make sure knees and toes are going in the same direction. Yeah, we want those out wide and length through the spine, crown of the head moving up. Notice how I just moved my elbows away from my knees and my knees stayed where they were. They didn't fall in. That's because I'm at my end range, but I'm also strong there. So this first little bit of movement, again, you can just stay in Malasana, yeah? This is a really great opener for the hips, really good for strengthening through the spine. We should probably sit in this shape for a few minutes every day anyway, but we're going to start to move through. So what we're doing is taking the right knee away from the body, down on the earth. Now you want to touch down as lightly as you can, then move it back up. Internally rotate. Yeah. Now if you feel heaps of discomfort in the knee, don't come down as far or use your hands on the earth. Throughout this whole little movement flow, hands on the earth is always going to be an option. Then internally rotate the left. Come back. Start to take that knee away from the body. Now this is all going to depend, we'll start to go the other way, internally rotate, on the shape of your hips. Yeah, this is going to look different in everyone's bodies. We have dancers' hips, runners' hips. Lots of people have different stuff going on. So just one more time through. Try and keep length the whole time. We don't want to be dumping down too much. Cool. Awesome. Great way to open up through the hips. We're going to take it another step further. So, bring your feet out wide. Almost like a prana pull shape. Some of you would have seen this in flow. We're going to slow it down, break it down. Make sure there's that length first. We're going to go towards the right side, Skandasana. Start to bring the weight down. Turn the toes out so the knees and toes are in line. Now here, as much as we can stay high to build strength, when we start to move down, we're going to be moving towards the earth, so just be aware of that. We come down. Yeah, we're in our Skandasana shape, knees and toes are in line, spine lifting up. Start to drop hips towards the earth, internal rotation. Good. Again, if this is too much for your knee, you can stay up a little higher. Start to take the chest towards that left foot. Move into a forward fold. Now we'll just have a few breaths here, like any forward fold, we're trying to take the chest towards the toes, keep the sitting bones going back. Good. Now if you're going through this passively, sorry, not passively, one posture at a time instead of in flow, there's one more option you can take, and only if it's comfortable for this knee, you can start to lean back. Yeah? But again, just make sure there's not too much pressure on the inside of that right knee. You might need to bring this foot in a little bit closer. But it's just another option to open up through the front of this right thigh. We start to come back up. This is where it gets a bit trickier. We're coming back through Skandasana, so you can shift the weight forward, lift back up. Cool. We start to go to the left side. Through Skandasana first. Again, your depth, and notice the difference. Now maybe the knee comes a little further forward over those toes, but they're still in line. Drop the hips down. That internal rotation, lift up through the chest, fold forward. Still want to be hinging at the hips, still long through the spine. As you can have your hands on the earth through this whole flow. Again, if you're just going one posture at a time, you can come through half saddle. There's too much pressure in your knee, don't take this variation. It's just an added little option. Start to come back up. Again, we're going to start to now externally rotate this left knee. Abduct it as much as we can. So take it away from the midline of the body. Lift back up through Skandasana. Stand up to a wide-legged shape. Alright, we're going to go through this in flow so you guys can see what it looks like. Alright, so start to turn the toes out a little bit first. Cool. Take a deep breath in, lift up. Skandasana, lower down. Remember, you can have your hands on the earth if you need to. Sit the sitting bones down. Internally rotate that right knee. Lift up first, then fold forward. Start to come back up. Hands on the ground if you need, or lift back up through stand. To the left side, down as you breathe out. Sitting bones to the earth, lift up, internally rotate that knee, fold forward, breathe out. Lift back up. Through that standing shape, we'll go one more time either side. Skandasana, lower the sitting bones down, crown of the head to the sky. And then fold over. Lift back up. Notice in flow we're not laying back through saddle. You know what, let's go one more time. Yeah, this is great for your hips. You can do it even more than this if you want to. Just as a demonstration, this is what we're doing. Good. You can start to bring the sitting bones to the ground. One more thing we're going to do for this morning movement is just a little bit of an opener through the glutes. Yeah, our figure 4 shape. You can do it laying down, sitting. We're going to reach through, grab the thigh or the shin on that left leg, start to hug it in towards the chest. And the only reason we're doing this, that moving up and down through Skandasana is a fair bit of work for the glutes. Yeah, that little flow is great for opening the inner hips, but because we're using a lot of muscles on the outer hips, just a little static posture. Let's open up through those muscles and just switch over side. Keep that right foot flexed. Alright guys, awesome job. Thank you so much for joining us. That's our little morning movement for today. Really, really great for your hips. Like I said, that's something Indra and I both use if you just want to maintain our practice, if we don't have the time to get a full class in, or if we are about to go do something and we want to feel open and ready to go and we don't have much time. Thank you so much guys. We'll see you next time. Namaste.